Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Camille Prosperity out of Savannah, Georgia. And guys, thank you so much for the excellent participation of everybody who was on with me at midnight last night. I so enjoyed that stream, and I'm so happy that you guys learned something new. If you missed it, go back and watch it. We talked about credit card universal default clauses, and a lot of people did not know what that was. If you do not, you definitely want to go back and look up that stream. So guys, basically what I do is I help everyday regular schmegular people understand the rules to the credit game and further know how to enforce them using consumer protection laws. As you come in, I want you to tell me, regardless of whether you are a replay viewer or a live viewer, I want to know, where are you watching from? Drop your district, say your circuit, and tell me the city and state as well. If you are, not new to this channel, you know exactly what I mean when I say drop your district, say your circuit. I really want you guys to understand not just where you live geographically, but what that means judicially, right? Also, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. If you like the information that I give you, I am not one of those consumer protection people that just reads 15 USCs and misinterprets them to you. We actually look at real stuff, and I tell you stuff, information that you can use and that makes sense. Stay Focused was on with us last night and back again. Hey friend, District 3 Texas, Tejas. That's what I'm talking about. All right. I have to eat dinner with my son before he has the first day of school tomorrow. So I say this every time, but I really mean it this time. I don't want to be on here long. I don't want to be on here long. And one last thing to all of the people who support the channel financially, if you can't, you can't. But for those who do, it means the world to me. The amount, whether it's $1, $10, I've had people give as much as $100, and I know everybody's pockets are different, but it really does help me to come on here, carve time out of my day, and some of the back end systems that I use, such as StreamYard, things of that nature. It just helps me to better serve you, because I ain't no big YouTuber like that. So don't think my Google checks are, you know, you know. But anywho, let's get into the topic. What did I label this one? I labeled this one, why credit denial letters are valuable. This is super duper important, especially in this time right now. Right now, we have some restricted lending, right? The Fed just hiked up the rates again. There's a lot going on in the financial world right now. We're coming out of a period where people were getting stimulus checks, PPP loans, and money was just flowing freely and abundantly. And we are now seeing even celebrities. Did y'all see Plies? Plies was on there complaining about that light bill. He said, just cut the lights off. Just take them. I watched that thing. I shared that thing. I laughed at that thing. It gave me a good old heart and gut laugh. Plies was mad at the light bill, y'all. But we are seeing even celebrities struggle financially right now. We're seeing a massive exodus. The Hollywood writers are on strike because they're not being paid fairly, considering all this new technology we have with streaming. And we're seeing a lot of actors move from the big screen, move from the networks down on here to little old YouTube, y'all, and do podcasts and try to basically use their influence to create income on this platform because they're not getting it other places. My point is, everybody feeling it. Everybody feeling it. And let me tell you something that people do, like the common man, in times like this when money is tight, what they will often do is apply for a credit card and just hope and pray they get it. Because they know they can't go to their boss and ask for a raise, right? So they'll just apply for a credit card and be like, oh, I hope somebody give me something. That is a key sign of somebody who does not understand the credit game at all. It is a horrible, horrible, horrible thing to do. One thing I emphasize and stress, in the Credit Crushers is that we do not apply for something unless we already know ahead of time that we are going to get it. We've already looked at our credit reports. We've already looked at the cards that best work with our lifestyle, offer the most rewards. We've already researched what credit reporting agencies they pull from. We've already looked on boards and groups and things of that nature to see what's the typical credit range, that FICO range that card, the bank that backs the card looks for. We've already done all that research ahead of time. So applying is just a technicality. The outcome, the decision should not be a surprise at all. Okay? When you understand these things, it changes the game completely, y'all. Completely. So let me show you something, and that will, I'm gonna share with you what was, let me see here. How do I get it here? Let me see. I want to share with you what was the inspiration for this stream, because I was in another group and somebody was saying, hey, I don't know why they keep denying me. Can y'all help? And I was completely confused by them asking that, because it clearly said on the denial letter, you guys do know it's a law. If you apply for credit and you're denied, it's a law that they do have to provide you with a letter stating why. Let me see if I can pull this. It's not a. Can I do it this way? Well, I don't think it'll do it that way. All right, let me see something. No, I don't want to share that. I want to let me share the. Okay, you know what? No worries. More than one way to skin a cat. But yeah, okay. All right, I'm gonna do this another way. But yeah, guys, anytime you apply, you should know exactly what the outcome is going to be, with very few exceptions. And when you get that letter, we even talk about in the Credit Crushers a way that you have so that the initial decision might not be the final decision, but you got to know what that department is called, where you can get them to take a look at your application again. You got to know what to say to plead your case. I will tell you this right now. Every time I apply for a credit card, regardless of whether I am approved or denied, first of all, I already told you, like, that denial, that's just not happening. Because I do my research on the front end. But even if I'm approved, do y'all know I still call the credit card company? I still call the credit card company and ask for a higher limit. Surely do. Surely do. Okay, now we're going to try it. I did this in a roundabout way. So let's see now. We're going to share the screen and try to get this up now. Yeah, it should be right here. Okay, there we go. So this little photo, this little snippet, this was the inspiration for this stream. Let me make sure that I am on here well. I saw this in the group that I'm in. I'm in a many of groups, y'all. But this right here really, I don't want to hear my voice. This right here really stuck out to me. And like I said, the person was like, help, I don't know why I keep getting denied for stuff. And I think they were trying to get a car. So the letter clearly said, and this is a letter, as you can see from the top, from TransUnion, it clearly said why the person got the denial. And that's why you should always keep these denial letters. I know you don't want to, because it's like, why would I keep something that's so painful to look at? Because it's intel, because it's research, because it tells you what to do, right? So this person applied. They don't have the worst credit score in the world. So just looking at that, I think that the person who posted this was thinking, why didn't I give me nothing? I'm better than most. Yeah, your number is, but how many times do we all have to be told it is not just about your FICO score? It's also about the data points that make up your credit, the full profile, right? The full profile. I say it all the time. You want your credit report to have a BBL. You want to just be hitting on all the right places. That's what y'all like. But yeah, you want it to be built out correctly. You want it to be even, proportionate, a BBL credit profile, right? So although the credit score 648 is definitely not too shabby, there will be a lot of people who will say, they prefer that nobody applies for anything until they have like a 670. But again, then too, it also depends on what you are applying for. Sometimes it's easier to get a car than it is to get a credit card, believe it or not, even with not the best credit. But it just depends. Everything just depends, right? But the main thing is this: the person wasn't denied as much for their score. And by the way, sometimes banks that will lend within a certain range during free periods of, like, when the money is flowing, it is different. They might approve you with a 630. When everything is good and the economy is booming and the money is, the restrictions on lending money are lax, they might approve you with a 630. But when that sucker tighten up and things are bad and a lot of people are defaulting, like right now, mortgages are at an all-time high, evictions are at an all-time high, repos, all of these things are hitting the news because consumers are struggling to pay their bills. Okay. So when things like this happen, of course, guess what happens? Banks are going to get a little stingy with their money. They're going to get real stingy with their money. So a bank who previously may have given you a loan or credit card or something with only a 620, now in these times may have bumped it up to a 690, may have bumped it up to a 700. This is why you have to stay on top of this stuff. But the main issue with this person's profile is right here at the bottom. Oh, excuse me. And they got 4 things going on that this lender determined were 4 negatives to them, despite the credit score, the actual credit score, being somewhat okay. So here are the 4 things: serious delinquency and public record or collection file. When I saw that, I about blew a gasket. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Here we are, annualcreditreport.com, a website that prior to 2020 would only give you 1 free credit report per CRA per year. That means there's 3 CRAs, credit reporting agencies, right? That means for the year, you used to could only get 3 reports for the whole year prior to 2020. 2020 happened. A lot of people lost jobs. They were concerned about their credit. People were stealing people's identity, doing all types of things. So annualcreditreport.com made it so that you could get they went from giving you 1 credit report per CRA 1 time a year to letting you do all 3 CRAs once a week for free. And it was supposed to end so many times. It was supposed to be through the end of December 21, through May 2022. It was supposed to stop this year, but it is. I literally just looked them up right now because I know I got mine like 3 weeks ago, but I just looked them up right now. It's still free. It's still free. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because it's no way this person should have ever applied for anything with a delinquency or a public record. It's one thing if you don't know, but when annualcreditreport.com is giving you a free credit report every single week, still, there's no reason for you not to know that there's a serious delinquency, public record, or collection on your credit report. Absolutely not. Now, I know some of y'all are saying, well, Kim, people don't know how to get stuff off there. Well, they could have still got approved. I've gotten approved with some negative stuff on my credit report before. Yeah, maybe you have, but why would you want to? Because even if they do approve you, it's not going to be at the best rates or the best terms as it would have been had you not had that serious delinquency, public record, or collection filed on your credit report. Remember, we don't want to just get the thing. We want to get the thing at the best rates and terms for us and our family. Does this make sense? The next thing, length of time since derogatory public record collection, too short. So I don't see this person's credit report. I do not know what the date was, but basically when you file a bankruptcy or you have certain things on your credit report, you can go to the handy dandy Googler and find out what's the grace period, what's the time that I need to really let this thing settle on my credit report before I go and apply for new credit. And clearly this person didn't do that. Okay, so that's what that is saying right there. The next thing, number of accounts with delinquency. So there's more than one account here that they're having issues with. Guys, you got to think about it like you might have a family member and everybody know this family member never pays anybody back. Will you continue to loan the money? If you are, then you bobo the fool. But most people be like, nah, you already know he ain't gonna give it to you back. Even when he get paid, he's just gonna say whatever to get you to give him the money, but he's never gonna get it back. Banks do the same thing. They look at you and they try to assess, oh, well, if you haven't paid them back, then no, I'm not. What do you look like with a fairly recent public record collection delinquency and multiple ones? The last thing is length of time accounts have been established. Guys, you have to establish credit history. This is why I shared with the Credit Crushers a credit union loan that I use to basically have cash reporting as credit on my credit report. When I was rebuilding my credit, after I took all the bad stuff off, then I had to build. It is a methodology. It is a strategy to building your credit profile out the right way. And you don't want to put the good on while the bad is still there, because we're not putting lipstick on a pig, right? Right. So you want to get the bad off first, then put the good on, but you want to do it in a certain way. And one of the things that I did, like, here we are at the first of the month, a lot of people had rent due. A lot of people had their mortgages due. There is a loan that you can get from your credit union, and you guys should have multiple credit unions. Multiple. These credit unions out here giving you zero fees. You can literally open up credit unions and not put a dime in there and just have it in case of emergency. For if you need to slip some funds over here on a certain month at a particular time. You business owners should be doing the same thing. You got a Stripe account, you got a merchant account. Why you only got one Stripe account? I was listening to a training the other day where a guy said $50K of his money was held up on his honeymoon because some idiot decided to do a chargeback just because they were unhappy and broke. So they wanted their money back for something that they already got. And while the investigation was going on, they froze all of his accounts. That means not just the money for the person, all funds, even money coming in. Had he known that you can have multiple Stripe accounts, and now he does know that, that's why I was on the webinar, because I'm always learning from people who have gone before me and know more than me. I'm not going to make a mistake that I can avoid if somebody else has already made it. I will plug into some. Just like I have a mentorship, I am a mentee. And the way he told me that he combats that now with taking lump sums of money, because it does cause red flags in systems when you take huge lump sums of money and your accounts can get shut down. I'm telling y'all, have multiple merchant accounts, have multiple bank accounts. The best bank accounts to have are credit unions. And guess what? A lot of credit unions have merchant accounts too, but you'll never know this if you don't ask. Right? So the banks are doing the same thing that you do. We all are involved in business every single day of our lives. We all are assessing what can we pay now, what can wait to be paid, what does our balance sheet look like. You might not call it your balance sheet, but that's really what you're doing. How much did I bring in? How much I got coming out? What can I shift? What assets can I sell off? That's what you guys are doing all of the time. The biggest asset that you sell off is your time. You don't have enough money to pay your bills. You go out there and you Uber and you Lyft and that's your biggest asset is your time that you sell off. But you constantly, every single day, you are a businessman, man. You are a businesswoman, sis. You might not be using the terminology, but you are still doing the same exact thing on a smaller scale, but it's still the same exact thing. So when your cousin comes and asks you for a loan and you like, heck no. That's what the bank was doing here now. You mean to tell me you got recent bad multiple accounts and you want us to give you some money right now? We'll pass. We'll pass. That's why when people my credit score this, my credit score, that don't mean a hill of beans to me. That number, that 648 number, had that person not had the 4 negative items down below, they probably would have gotten approved. Again, not at the best rate, because the number will still determine, not at the best rate in terms. You still will want to get that number up a bit, more in like the tier 1 type credit, score thing. But it's a combination of the score and the credit report. And again, you should not be applying for stuff using the hope and pray strategy. Lord, I hope I get it. Oh, let me go in prayer. No. At our big old age, we should not still be doing that. Now, when you were 18, 19, that's fine. You ain't know no better. Ain't nobody told you. You didn't know. But if you in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, please tell me you still not operating with the same abysmal knowledge of the credit game as you had decades ago. Is this making sense? So this person, I don't know them personally, but they're either going to do one or two things. They're either going to get to work on the stuff on this letter and get it off before they apply for something else again, or they're going to do what 90% of people do, and they're going to throw the letter away, not pay it no mind, until they need something else on credit, until they need a new car, until they need they're trying to get approved at AutoZone for the AutoZone car to get some tires, or until they need something. Their kid needs a student loan. Until they need, that's when they'll think about it. They'll think about their credit at all again, and they'll deploy the same strategy they used this time, the hope and pray method. Lord, I hope I get it. You know all my needs. Yeah, but it's a partnership. You're supposed to still do your part. God is not a genie in the Bible, right? So these denial letters, you should keep every single one. And credit is a full-time job. For my folks who are like, I don't be worried about it though. I don't have to check my credit that frequently, Kim, though, because I don't be applying for nothing. Great. But is somebody else applying for something in your name? You don't know. You do not know. So even if you personally are not applying for things, still check your credit to make sure somebody else is not applying for things in your name. It could be a family member. It could be somebody who now lives at a residence that you used to live at, and something came there in your name and they got the bright idea, well, let me fill this out and see what happens. Guys, it happens more than you know. So check your credit regularly. You have no excuse. Annualcreditreport.com still has it for free every 7 days. Every 7 days. That means if you check it today, 7 days from now, you can check it again and do it again and do it again. Don't wait until it's no longer free to be like, oh man, I hate it when people do that. You have forever and a day. So yeah, I don't see any other comments. I guess that means you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, and this makes sense to you. But like I said, one of the things that I do, because I've been down this road before, I have gotten denial letters like this. When you get this denial letter, it is not for you to ball up like a basketball and try to make the basket. No, it is your homework. It is your credit homework. You are to go to work attacking each one of the things that are the reasons why you did not get what you came there to get. Okay? And I know there's going to be a consumer protection fanatic on here, like, but they cannot deny me for nothing because I am the original creditor. Man, unless you don't come on my broadcast talking that talk, unless you want to come on my stream with receipts, please don't. I'm not saying that it's not true. What I am saying is a lot of y'all be talking out the side of your neck, confusing other people on the stream. I would love to interview somebody who has receipts and wants to share. If you have more insight, because I'm going to tell you what I do. I help people understand the credit game first and foremost. Then you can get into enforcing consumer protection laws, because let's be clear, consumer protection laws were birthed out of the credit system. So I do not understand why people are trying to become consumer protection senseis when they don't even understand the basics of credit. If that ain't putting the cart before the horse before the cart, or the chicken before the, if that ain't booty backwards, I don't know what is. But go off. All right, y'all. I'm about to have a dinner with my son, and we're gonna wind down. Thank y'all for joining. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. I hope you learned something. Stop throwing away your denial letters. I have a file specifically for denial letters from years back. I used to throw them away, and then when I learned this stuff, I stopped doing that. And like I said, that is research, that is intel, that is your homework. Stop only looking at your credit report right before you're about to run out to the dealership. That's stupid. It's silly, and it's immature. We have got to get better. Other communities don't be acting like this, y'all. So I'm happy y'all show up. I hope I gave you some food for thought. And again, share this with someone else, especially your children. Especially your children. If you want to know more about how you can work with me, learn from me personally, this is just the tip of the iceberg right here. But we really get down to the nitty-gritty in the mentorship, the Credit Crushers mentorship. You can find out more about that by going to hellocamille.com. hellocamille.com. Then when you get there, what you will do is click on courses and mentorships, and then you will click on the Credit Crushers mentorship and fill out the form. This price for the April session, which starts next week, I think it's April 9th, whatever that Wednesday is, this price is for it is for a BOGO, a buy one, get one free. I want you to sign up and bring a friend, because the people, your social network, your best friend, your cousin, your daddy, whoever is closest to you and has the same mindset as you, they can hold you accountable, and you will get more done with a friend than you will alone. We are better together. So that is that. Yeah. And any other questions, drop them in the comments down below. I will talk to you all later. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.